Hello there, welcome to Film Gist. Today we're going to recap an action comedy Korean film Officer Black Belt. The story follows Lee Young-do, a martial arts prodigy who loves to spend time having fun with friends, and the rest of the time helps his dad at his restaurant. He is coincidentally turned into a crime-fighting cop to replace an injured officer until his recovery, but he eventually starts liking that job of saving people. Before we jump into the full recap, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our recaps on the latest movies. Now, let's dive into the action of Officer Black Belt. Spoiler alert, watch out and take care. At the film's beginning, we are introduced to Lee Young-do, a quiet yet immensely talented martial artist. Despite his incredible abilities, Young-do lives a low-key life. He helps his father run their small family-owned restaurant and spends his spare time either training or hanging out with his close-knit group of friends. It's not the kind of life you'd expect for someone with such impressive skills, but Young-do seems content with this peaceful existence. However, as with all heroes, fate has other plans for him. One evening, while walking home, Young-do finds himself in the middle of a dangerous situation. A local cop is being attacked by a group of criminals, and things look bleak. Without hesitation, Young-do jumps into action, using his martial arts prowess to fend off the attackers and save Officer Min-jo. This heroic intervention doesn't go unnoticed. A probation officer named Kim Sun-min witnesses the incident and sees potential in Young-do's fighting abilities. Little does Young-do know that this moment will change the course of his life forever. Kim Sun-min approaches Young-do with a unique opportunity, a job as a martial arts officer. This special position allows Young-do to use his combat skills to help track down criminals, particularly those on probation who step out of line. It's the perfect role for someone who craves excitement and purpose. At first, Young-do is reluctant. He's never considered himself a hero, let alone a police officer. But the chance to use his abilities for good and make a difference in his community is too enticing to pass up. Before long, Young-do takes the job and quickly proves himself to be a natural at it. Working alongside Kim, he begins to track down and apprehend dangerous criminals, gaining a reputation for his ability to bring in the toughest offenders. The dynamic between Young-do and Kim is electric. Together, they form an unbeatable team. Each takedown boosts Young-do's confidence, and as he grows into his new role, he starts to see it as more than just a job, as a calling. His bond with Kim deepens as they become close friends and partners, both committed to protecting their city from harm. The story takes a darker turn when Young-do and Kim are assigned to a special task force. Their mission: keep a close watch on Kang Ki-young, a notorious serial rapist who has just been released from prison after serving 20 years. The public is outraged that such a dangerous individual is being let back into society, and fear spreads like wildfire. Kang is fitted with an ankle monitor to track his movements, but Young-do can't shake the feeling that it's only a matter of time before Kang returns to his old ways. His instincts are right. It doesn't take long for Kang to get involved in criminal activity again. He's approached by Min-wook, a man with a sinister plan to create and distribute explicit videos of minors on the dark web. It's a horrifying scheme, and Kang is all too eager to participate in exchange for a hefty payout. Although Kang hasn't committed any crimes yet, Young-do can sense that something is off. He becomes increasingly suspicious and decides to keep a close eye on Kang, hoping to prevent him from carrying out his despicable plans. As Young-do shadows Kang, things spiral out of control for the rest of his team. Officer Min-jo and Director Kim are lured into a deadly trap set by another criminal mastermind, Lee Young-ho. Young-ho harbors a deep grudge against the police officers for interfering in his previous operations, and he's out for blood. Using Kang as bait, Young-ho sets a trap that leads Min-jo and Kim to an abandoned hideout. Unbeknownst to them, they are walking straight into an ambush. The ensuing scene is nothing short of brutal. Young-ho's gang members descend on the officers, attacking them with ruthless precision. Min-jo fights valiantly, but he's quickly overpowered and knocked unconscious. Director Kim suffers even worse, as Young-ho himself savagely beats him with a baseball bat, leaving him gravely injured. Meanwhile, Young-do remains unaware of the danger his colleagues are in, as he focuses all his efforts on tracking down Kong. Young-do finally tracks Kong to a shady garage, only to find himself ambushed by a group of Kang's henchmen. What follows is one of the most electrifying fight sequences in the entire movie. Outnumbered and cornered, Young-do is forced to rely on every bit of his martial arts training to survive. Despite being exhausted and outmatched, Young-do refuses to back down. He fights through wave after wave of goons, determined to stop Kang's heinous plan. The stakes have never been higher, and the tension is palpable as Young-do struggles to stay on his feet. This fight scene not only highlights Young-do's physical prowess, but also his mental toughness. He's fighting for something bigger than himself now, and that's what gives him the strength to keep going. While Young-do battles his way through Kang's minions, the clock is ticking. Kong has kidnapped a young girl and is moments away from filming an explicit video to sell on the dark web. Just as he's about to begin, Young-do crashes into the scene, interrupting the horrific act. What follows is a brutal showdown between Young-do and Kong, one that will determine the fate of the innocent girl and Young-do's future. Worn down from his previous battles, Young-do finds himself at a disadvantage as Kong lands several devastating blows, leaving him critically wounded. Despite the injury, Young-do summons the last of his strength to free the young girl and get her to safety. Kong, however, manages to escape, slipping through the cracks just as the police arrive. Young-do is rushed to the hospital, where he wakes up to a mixture of good and bad news. The young girl he rescued is safe, but the mission has come at a terrible cost. His close friend and colleague, Officer Minjo, has been declared brain-dead and later succumbs to his injuries. Director Kim survives the attack, but his injuries are severe, leaving him sidelined for an indefinite period. The emotional weight of this loss is crushing, and Young-do is left grappling with the realization that his work comes with consequences far heavier than he ever imagined. This tragic turn of events becomes a pivotal moment for Young-do. Up until this point, his motivation had been fueled by adrenaline and the thrill of the fight. But now, after witnessing the heartbreaking loss of his friend and the gratitude of the young girl he saved, Young-do understands that his mission is about something much deeper. It's about protecting the most vulnerable members of society and ensuring that justice prevails, no matter the personal costs. With his body still recovering from his injuries, Young-do becomes more determined than ever to bring Kong to justice. He enlists the help of his closest friends, who are just as committed to the cause. Together, they use every resource at their disposal, including some high-tech hacking skills courtesy of Moisture, to track down Kang's whereabouts. Their investigation leads them to Minwook's house, where they uncover terabytes of disturbing child exploitation videos. After a tense confrontation, Minwook gives up Kang's location. Young-do and his friends prepare for one final showdown. In the film's explosive finale, Young-do tracks Kong to a dingy inn, where the climactic battle takes place. Young-do fights off more of Kang's goons. The battle is fierce, but Young-do's determination never falters. With help from his friends and his relentless will to bring Kong down, Young-do finally overpowers the villain in an epic hand-to-hand fight. Kang's reign of terror is brought to an end, and Young-do emerges victorious. With Kong behind bars, Young-do is hailed as the national hero. The film ends on a heartwarming note as he is awarded a prestigious honor by the President of Korea. In a touching final scene, the young girl he saved presents him with a bouquet of flowers, calling him her hero. It's a poignant moment that encapsulates the emotional journey Young-do has undergone throughout the film. It's clear that Young-do's story isn't over yet. So, that's the recap of Officer Black Belt. If you love these kinds of recaps and breakdowns, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.